everybody, what's crack-a-lackin'? What is crack-a-lackin'? Hope everybody's doing good, all up in the hood. If you know what I'm screaming, show me what you got. That's right. I could freestyle for you guys if you want me to. Back in the day, I used to be pretty good at that. I guess I need to get with Adam and Nacho and Axe and get some Mark Pyres all up in here. We'll make us just a big old We Are the World space weather jam, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, guys. Yeah, guys, so give me a 5 for 5 and we will roll right on through this. Yes. Hey, it's Ever Grow. Good to see you here live. Heck yeah. 3068, the newest member of the Kool-aid Krew Blue Wrench having people. Heck yeah, baby. All right. Hey, Kathy, aloha. Jan's in the house. Thank you for the 5 for 5. Butterfly, what's going on? I am Planet Hermit. Thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for all you do with the support. Really do appreciate you. George Richard, member for 3 months. Red Kool-Aid, baby. Woo, hoo. That's right, baby. From California, it's been really hot. Yeah. We got over here in the Midwest, over here in Hoosierville. This week's not supposed to be all that bad. Next week's supposed to be brutal, from what I understand. And prayers for everybody dealing with fires. I wonder if Miss Dragon's in here or not. I've been thinking about her and a couple others all day today. All that stuff is just, just, I know that it's a normal thing, but it doesn't make it any less, well, frankly, terrifying. Fires terrify me. So many bad things happen during those kinds of things, man. It just is a bad deal all around. You know what I'm saying? Hope between the dreams. Linda, what's up? Thank you for being here. Okay, guys. Hey, Stephanie, good to see you. Butterflies in the hizzy. Angel's Wing, member for 3 months. Heck yeah. Guys, please keep using those free super chats. I love seeing those. And if you want, you could put, like, brand new ones, too. No, I'm just kidding. That's just a joke. I'm just joking. Don't nobody get all crazy on me there. I know people do. They get all mad at me. Okay, so I do want to address a couple things before I get going. I will put the chat rules out there real quick, just so the mods have an easier time on what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. Here on my channel, we allow everybody to have whatever opinion they want, as long as it's not vulgar, as long as it's not attacking somebody else in the chat, and you absolutely cannot say anything negative about any other channel. Those comments will not be allowed at all, because all it does is bring drama. We just do not do that. Hey, Surgery, there's one. Heck yeah. Newest mod. Woo, woo. That's right. But yeah, guys, in other words, just be an adult. And it's okay to disagree. It really is. Like me and Bruce yesterday, we actually had a back and forth a little bit. Just a conversation. We just didn't agree on some things. That's all it was. And we were talking about each other's side of it. And I was explaining. And that's how you do things, guys. I got nothing but love. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's the same way. So I hope people kind of appreciate that. Because I won't ever draw lines like that. It's not progressive for what we're trying to do. And we just definitely got to be a little bit more open to other people. Hey, Schaefer Girl, thank you for the super chat. Love that. Little super sticker. What is that? Is that a pear? Yeah, it is, isn't it? That's pretty cool. Little weightlifting pear dropping the mic. Is that what they're doing there? Yep. Mic drop, baby. Love it. Hey, Ricky. Hey, Brian. Hey, Daniel. All right. So, I do want to jump into this because I do agree with people when they criticize me and say that I jump around a lot, because I do. And I appreciate everybody taking up for me in the chat or in the comment section. I understand. I really do. Thank you for that. But I also understand the other side of it, because I've watched other people's videos, and they were doing kind of like, I started to go back into the way I used to do things in my previous live stream, guys. I went back and watched some of it just so I could validate what was being said. And I definitely was squirreling around way too much. So I hope people hold me accountable for that, because I don't want to do that. I really honestly just do not. So I'm going to try to stay more focused and get the space weather out in the beginning. Sometimes I have to refocus. So I just want you guys to know that. You're never, hey, X, I was in your live stream yesterday just for a little bit. Actually, I listened to you for quite some time. I just didn't chat a whole lot. Um, yeah, guys, please get over and check AX. Drop your link in there. Guys, you don't understand Ax's show unless you go watch it. It's something. It's awesome. So please go check it out. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get the space weather into this, and we're going to do it right from the beginning. I'm going to push through it, and then if anybody gives super chats or anything like that about halfway through, I'll stop, and I'll tell everybody thank you. I'll probably say thanks right when it happens, and then I'll just keep moving, and then we'll address that later. And I know that was a little bit of a lengthy explanation here at the beginning. I won't do that tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm just going to jump into it. I just want everybody to understand that that's the format I'm going to try to adhere to. Okay, so this is NOAA, and what you're looking at here, guys, is basically these are the three the three things we look at to see if space weather is really going to affect us. These are the storms. That's what I call them. And they call them the scales, is what they. Well, we can look at the storm scales from NOAA. But as you look here, you can see X-ray, protons, geomagnetic activity. So what we're talking about here is X-ray is flares. See that? Flare classes. Protons, a lot of people don't know this. This is the radiation storm. That's how we measure radiation, by protons. And hard protons at that. I'm not going to get into what that is. But KP index, geomagnetic activity. That is what we measure geomagnetic storms with, but that's when we get hit with the CME. And essentially, for people that don't know, a CME is just plasma that's hitting our magnetic field. Okay? And there's a whole lot of variables that go into whether or not we get into storm level. But do you guys see what's happening here? I talked about this last night, if you remember. I started to see little indications in the data that it looked like we were getting ready to start getting hit with some space weather that wasn't expected. I actually said that. And that's exactly what's happening today. We were not supposed to be anywhere near a 4 on the KP. Now, is this going to be some sort of massive space weather news? No, it's not. I'm just showing you guys basically what's happening is we're getting hit with either the CME that was supposed to hit the day before, or a CME that is what we would call a stealthy, I guess, CME, which means exactly what it says, what the word means. It's just really hidden. And even though we might see some indications, we didn't see it or forecast it to be out like that. They get hidden for a lot of reasons, right? During solar max, we see a lot more of these stealthy solar storms. And the reason why, simple is, hey, there's a lot more of them, okay? There's a lot more eruptions going on. So when you look at the sun here, and you get an eruption, right? And this might not be the best one to show you and kind of explain this, but I'm going to use it anyway. So let me show you this real quick, and let me get that in the middle for you. So the blackness of space back here gives us a really good contrast, right? So you can see the sun right there. That's the 304 angstrom, right? And I guess the satellite we're looking from is SDO, okay? This satellite's in geosynchronistic orbit, right here. This is what this satellite does. It stays over the same part of our planet, but it rotates like this to keep its eye on the sun. And it relays its data back down to White Sands right here. Okay? That's what it's doing. You see this yellow right here? That's where the sun line is. That's its eye, right there. See how it's rotating to keep its eye on the sun? So, imagine if that thing kept going like this, what happens? Eventually, during certain times, matter of fact, there's 2 seasons a year. It's called SDO eclipse season. The Earth will actually get, the top of the Earth will actually get in between the satellite and the sun. So you get what essentially is, it's an eclipse of the satellite. All right? You can kind of see it happening right there. You see that? And it actually kind of stops, and it goes retrograde and goes back the other way. So it can look really, really weird on the data. Okay? So I point that out because people can get kind of scared about that. What the heck is that? An eclipse? What stopped in the middle of space and started going the other direction? You know, yeah, those are all valid questions when you don't understand how the satellite works, right? So that's why I kind of explained it there. But also, we got the contrast of black space here, right, with this color. So, as an example, if I keep moving forward here, let's just do this. Right? Okay, right there is where I wanted. You see that right there? That's a sizable CME, believe it or not. Okay, and that's not going to hit Earth. Okay, the Earth strike zone is here. I'm using this as an example because if that had erupted, that exact eruption had happened right here, we might not have seen it. Because you can tell that the black, we can barely see it here, really, if you really think about what we're looking at here. Okay? In other words, when the sun's the background, it actually camouflages the CMEs. It makes it harder to see. So that's kind of why we have to keep that in consideration. Okay? So that's how these things get missed. Also, just simple math will tell you you can't catch them all, right? You're going to miss some of them. It cannot be 100% perfect. It's just not going to happen. Okay? So when you got more, that means you're probably going to miss more. Also, it makes it more difficult to forecast them because if you got eruptions, we're talking about magnetics here, right? Plasma is gas that is charged. Has a charge, magnetic charge, right? Positive, negative. With that being said, if you get two eruptions right really close to each other, they can influence each other in the direction that they go. Because of magnetics. They can pull, they can push. Also, when something erupts next to a coronal hole, same thing. You got charged particles just flowing out of the sun on that coronal hole, and if something erupts, which happens often right next to the coronal hole, that coronal hole will have one effect or the other. It'll either draw it towards the coronal hole, or it'll push it away, which will, affect if it's either going to hit Earth or not. But watch right here. This right here is going to show you exactly what I was talking about, stealthy. You'll see just a little puff. Watch. Right about where you at? Where you at? Did I miss it? See, that's how hard it is to see. Right there. You see that? That's what I'm saying, guys. This is something that is so easily missed. Watch right here. You're going to see just a little shadow. See that? See it? Watch it right there. So, that erupted on the 23rd. Now, that's not what's hitting us right now, I don't think. It's just simply not enough time. So yeah, that ain't what hit. That's what hitting us. But that definitely has a chance of hitting us. But it doesn't look very powerful, right? Because it's not. It's not a very big one. But imagine if this eruption was over here. It would look very similar to the one I showed you already, over here on the side. Let's get back to that for a second. Well, actually, I'll stop right there and back that up. Okay, there was another one right there. See what I'm saying? If you sit here and you just watch this thing, you will see little shadows. And those little shadows right in the front, those are CMEs, guys, if they leave the sun. So we have to pay attention to that stuff. And again, right there, that's about what that would have looked like. So just keep that in mind when we're talking about this, okay? It's important to understand that because you can't catch it all. You just simply can't. Okay, so let's go look at the data real quick. Well, I tell you what we're going to do. Before we do that, I absolutely want to show you the flare that I'm talking about in my title and in my thumbnail. I probably should have done that right at the beginning. Sorry about that. Right here, guys. This thing, and I said it, guys. I'm not saying it to say, hey, look, I was right. I'm saying it because we were talking about this. I mentioned it. Matter of fact, I think it's even in my title that Earth dodged a bullet. because we did. This flare was an X14. All right, to put that into perspective, the G5 solar storm that we had back in May was produced by a couple flares that were, well, I think it was X2 and X3. Okay, so that should help you understand a little bit about what kind of flare was going on here. Now, typically, a bigger flare, a stronger flare, is going to produce a bigger CME or a more powerful CME, especially if it's longer duration. But I even commented back on that live stream how fast that thing was moving. And I even stopped. I took you guys through it, and I said, look, it's off screen in like 2 hours. That means it's moving fast. I think that was probably my exact words. You can go back and listen to it if you want. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm not trying to be like, oh, look, I was right. It ain't that at all. I just want you guys to understand this is what I do, and this is what I look for. So when I say things like I said back during that live stream, it ain't just because I'm just blowing air out of my mouth. I know it kind of probably seems like that sometimes, but but even, you know, here's the thing too. We don't have very many ways to catch what's going on the backside of the sun, because this thing launched right off the backside. And how do we even know how big it was? Well, we got lucky, and Solo, not Soho, Solo is back there. It is another, it's the solar orbiter, and it is it's the European agency is the one that's got that up there. It's not ours, okay? That's why I don't show it to you guys very often. It's just simple as that. Plus, I can give you the same kind of data from the other ones. It's just easier to do it the way that I do it for you guys. But we didn't have anything back there to catch it except for Solo. Solo's the European agency, and that's where this data is coming from. And so exactly what you see here is what's happening. The data came in from the satellite once that CME hit the satellite. Okay? So this is exactly what happened. It ain't like we're just guessing from like a seismic, because we can kind of map out what the back of the sun looks like by using seismic activity on the sun. That's a fairly new technique that they're using, and it's becoming very accurate. But you can't do that when looking for a flare. All it's going to do is show you where the sunspots are. That seismic activity technique, okay? Or coronal holes and things like that. It might be able to tell you, hey, there was a flare here, but there is no way it's going to be able to tell you how strong it was. The only way to detect how strong that thing is to have something back there and have those x-rays hit it. Okay? And the solar orbiter was back there. So that's what I'll say right there. Hey, D-Quick. Hey, what's up, Ilea? Good to see everybody in there. Won't you guys go ahead and give me a roll call in there if you would. Let me know where you're from, and I'll stop to say hi and thanks to everybody. Schaefer Girl, thank you for the super chat. Really do appreciate you. And everybody else that has did their free super chat today for their monthly membership thing. I appreciate that too. So guys, please keep doing that. Please keep talking in the chat. Anytime anybody gives memberships, the more active you are in the chat, that's who the algorithm will give that membership to. Okay? So just keep that in mind. If you're just sitting, it's okay to sit and lurk. I'm not saying that at all. I do it a lot myself. But if you're just active in the chat, and we can, we build friendships and we build a really strong community that way. So when everybody does donate memberships, the algorithm will give it to the person that's the most active in the chat. So keep that in mind. Okay, Upper Peninsula says hello. NC, baby, heck yeah. What's up, Isaac? Hey, good to see you. I love them suspenders, by the way. Deep Quake, what's up, brother? Indiana, actually, I think Deep Quake is our newest mod. Surgery, you're number 2 right now, man. You better be jumping up and down. I'm just kidding. Andy, Boston. Virginia's Indiana, California. Does that say Tasmania? Margaret Sonnerman? Really? That's awesome. Indiana be spooky. Barbie Laudale. Northern Wisconsin's in the house. Tennessee here. What's up, Daryl? Kentucky, Kentucky, Kentucky. Marilyn Adams, good to see you, girl. Really good to see you. Thank you for just your continued viewership and everything. I really do appreciate your comments. I really, truly do. Thank you for coming back and leaving comments. Guys, please do that for me if you would. Come back after the live stream's over. Go underneath there and just say, hey, crappy live stream or great live stream. Just leave me some activity there. It'll help get the video out. Hey, Tommy Gunn. What's up, Tommy Guy, Wisconsin? Trish, what's happening? Butterflies in the house. Eating soup, looks like. Catherine Dales, Spokane, Washington. Moccasin Bend, Tennessee. Heck yeah, baby. All right. Michigan. What's up, soup? Schaefer Girl. Stephanie Munez. There you are, girl. I didn't see that. Yeah, I seen you in here. Okay. I forget where you're from. Okay, so back to this, guys. So this right here, I'm just going to push start. This is, and I'll pause it, that right there. Okay? Now, you remember me showing you this, right? I hope you guys do. Anybody that watched. Because I was like, oh my gosh. Because when I first seen it, before I did my live stream on it, I was like looking to make sure it wasn't coming at us. Because my, like I said, guys, your butt starts to pucker a little bit when you see something like that. This is an occulter disc. It's a physical disc on the imager. So if we see energy out and around the edge of it, we call that a halo eruption. And when we see a halo or a partial halo, that means it's either coming right at us or it's going right off the back. Okay? This X14 flare that produced this humongous CME is the one that helped induce the radiation storm here. This affected Earth. This blew straight off the back. It affected Earth. So this is why I say we watch everything. Okay? We got a radiation storm out of this. And it wasn't even facing us. Not even close. It fired off over here in the danger zone. And this is how we got the radiation storm. This one and the one after. Okay, because there's another one over here that blew off on the right, I believe. Let's see here. Yep, right there. You see that one? I think there was two of them, actually. Yeah, there was two little smaller ones over there that happened, too. But that one there happened after, right? And we see this a lot. That's about it. This one that happened over here on the left side, that happened about 180 degrees the opposite direction. We see that a lot, especially with the bigger ones. So when I see something blow off the back, I immediately start watching for the next 12 to 14 hours to see if something's going to come at us. Because oftentimes it does. Now, I'm not sure if there's much science behind that. It's just an observation that I've made. So, let me get back here and read that for you. Dre Cobbs, what's up? Brett Gold on Solana IYKYK, whatever that means. I'm sorry, I don't know what that means, brother. You can clarify if you want. If not, all good. Thank you for doing that, though. Awesome stuff. Awesome, awesome. Hey, Daryl. Retrozilla. What's up, Christian? Miss Dragon. Hey, you need to let us know if you're safe. Go check out the video. Okay. Guys, if you want to see the fires out there, it looks like Miss Dragon's got a video up on her YouTube channel. So go over there and check it out, guys, please. I'm not going to show it to you here unless she wants me to. But I would rather you guys go give her the traffic, okay, if you would. So please, Miss Dragon, if you want to drop a link to that, go for it. All right, so that big monster, yeah. So what I'm saying here, guys, if that had been coming at us, that would definitely cause us some issues. And I'm not going to sit here and try to sugarcoat it, and I'm not playing it up. That would have been issues of some sort. Now, I'm not saying all of us would lose our power, and I'm not saying this grid down or anything like that. I honestly don't know. And the reason I say this is because it was hard for me to even, oh man, how can I say this without it just sounding way out? An X2 and an X3 solar flare produced enough activity to give us our first G5 storm in, I can't remember, like 20 some years. That was hard for me to accept, just to be honest, okay? But that's what happened. So what I'm saying is, I would have expected it to be more of this size to do something like that, right? But also, this was a single flare, and there was another smaller one behind it here, okay? Or that might have even been before. Was that after? Yeah, it was after. There was another M9, which is like almost an X-class flare. So those happened. That would have been kind of like a double hit. And if that would have happened like that, we definitely could have been seeing some issues. Okay. I know we would have had seismic upticks. Aurora would have been crazy. I mean, all the stuff that we seen back in May would have been this, but it probably would have been more. Just judging by the power of the flare. Now, and I explained to you guys earlier that that does correlate to the size of a CME and how powerful a CME is. Typically, a bigger flare has a chance of producing more powerful, faster, more dense CMEs. So with that being said, guys, I mean, that should tell us right there. Now, we kind of talked about this yesterday, me and Bruce did. You know, hey, we're always talking about a side blow, this, that, and the other. And he's right, okay? We are. We're talking about that a lot because we occupy such a very little place in space. We are a grain of sand, guys. So it would be remiss of us to sit here and think that everything should hit us. Most things are going to miss. That's just a fact. We don't occupy half the sun, right? We're just one little dot. And, you know, and when we do get hit, yeah. Sometimes it's big time, sometimes it's not. But a lot of times we're talking about glancing blows because that's exactly what it is. We're not going to come out here, at least I'm not going to come out here and sugarcoat it and try to make it be something that it's not. You'll get that on some channels, but I'm not going to do that to you. You want to see all that sensationalized stuff, you go ahead. I'm not doing that here. I will definitely talk about what's going on, and I hope you guys can appreciate that. I do my best not to cry wolf. Sometimes I might make a mistake, and it might seem like that I did that. Every time that happens, if somebody calls me on it, or if somebody doesn't, and I noticed I did it, I come out here and I explain, okay? I'm the first to tell everybody when I'm wrong. I hope you guys, anybody that's been with me for any length of time probably already knows that. But I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong. I'm also not afraid to be wrong. What that means is I'm not afraid to assert myself in such a way that I'm trying to learn things and it's okay for me to be wrong. Just as long as I'm able to come out and show you guys and tell you guys when I am. So I hope you guys can appreciate that, and I hope that you guys kind of live your lives the same way. John in the Spirit, what's up? You heading out, Butterfly? Good to see you. Well, thank you, Deep Quake. 5 more memberships, baby. Who's getting them? Who's getting them? Ding, 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 ding. So Murray's Son, Andy S., Leslie Jones, Retrozilla got them. Heck yeah, there's 4 of them. And Miguel Cuevas. Awesome. Tell him thanks, guys. That's coming out of his, you know, that's his hard-earned money, man. I'm telling you guys, it humbles me every time. And thank you, Deep Quake. I can't tell you how much. And Schaefer Girl, thank you earlier for the super chat. And anybody else just being here, sharing, and watching, thank you. I wouldn't be here if you guys weren't. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let's go look at the solar wind data. Okay, this is our space weather data, not solar wind. But the -6. Remember what I was saying? I talk about this a lot. So if we get a -6 on the BZ, it will highlight that here in purple. Now, if you're not interested in knowing exactly what the BZ is, that's all you need to know, really. If you see a -6 or more negative, then we're in a magnetic position to really draw space weather in and take a good hard hit, right? So as you can see, we got to that level quite a few times today. In the past 12 hours, actually. Okay? It's been bouncing in and out. And yesterday I was explaining what I call popcorn. When this thing plots a data point, it's exactly that. It's a point. It's a dot. That's one data collection point right there. Okay? That little dot. So when you get them lining up and it looks like a straight line, it's because the conditions are not fluctuating. They're real close to each other and they'll make a straight line. Right? It's kind of like the old flip books we used to make in school. Not sure if they do that nowadays or not with computers and everything. Who needs it, right? Well, I need it. I tell you what, I wish our kids would do more of that. They don't even teach cursive writing anymore in school. I don't know what the heck this world's coming to, but man, I don't know if I like it. Anyway, you got the speed here, right? This is velocity, and as you can tell, this is popcorn because conditions are fluctuating. And here in the past few hours, things have ramped up. You can see a clear starting point, guys. See this? Temperature, speed, density, the phi angle, which is the polarity of the solar wind itself, it flipped, and the BZ started going negative all at the same time. When that happens, we're getting hit with space weather. Just saying. Angel Wings, thank you. Gifted the membership, baby. Heck yeah. Thank you so much, Angel Wings. I really appreciate that. It's awesome. Thank you. Okay, so what we need to look at here. Hey, Flamin' Jackson, I love you, brother. You are the man. So, all that started happening right there. So how do we confirm any of this? Well, we can come back here and look. When did things start moving? See this? All these times match up, guys. Things started slowly ramping up, and it's still ramping up. So I'm wondering if this is even over. I don't think it is what I'm trying to tell you. Also, anybody in Northern California, northward, over here on the West Coast, I would keep an eye on this because you got a small chance of getting some aurora up there. Okay, so let me play this model for you. This is the aurora forecast model, and this is actually, that's usually what it looks like right there. Ilea loves her some aurora. It's on my bucket list. I wish I could go see it. I know Adam Marfugo got lucky and was able to knock that off his bucket list because he's seen it in Washington where he's at. Yeah. But you see how things started happening? What time did it start happening? Look. Right around midday, right when everything started moving. So watch this, and it's going to stop about right here. But see how it kind of tailed off, and now it's starting to increase again? So that's where we're at right now. Now, with that being said, what we can do, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you. Let's go to, where's it at? There it is. This is the HP. This is the same indice as this. It's just, this is called the KP. That's a 3-hour average. That's what that bar represents. Okay? 3-hour average. Over here on the HP from the German website, this is a 30-minute average. You can tell that things are up here getting close to storm level. Right? And they're staying here. It started to dip off a little bit, but now it's coming back up. So it'll be interesting to see what this does. Now, is this going to be big time news? No, I already said that. It's not going to be big time news. But what it is it's going to indicate, hey, we don't catch everything. Because we don't. Now, if we, again, guys, I showed you the space weather data to prove that that's what's going on. Because everything moved. I can take you over here to the magnetopause models. This is the sun's off to the left, and space weather moves from left to right here, is what happens. From time to time, we'll get it from the right to the left. Usually those are cosmic rays and things like that. But typically, obviously, things are left to right. The sun is the most influential thing in our world, guys. I mean, in our solar system. I found it really, really, I don't know how can I say this without being a little, I don't know. If you guys watch this is our bow shock, right? It's the point of where the space weather hits our magnetic field. So if I grab this, see how it just kind of, everything stayed so stable there for a few hours? Watch our bow shock hardly even move. But you can see the tail back here moving. So you know time's moving forward there. See how it kind of like stuck? And then this, boom. And then it stalled out again there in the front, and then boom. It's really strange. I don't know that I've ever seen a magnetopause model look like that or do that. Especially this one 2 times in one model run. It's very strange. I've not seen it ever do this, guys. So I don't know what that's about. It didn't like stay. You can see it barely moving, but what that means is the conditions in here did not move hardly at all for like an hour or two. That's very strange. To me anyway. I've never seen it do that. So I can't give you an idea or even what caused it. I don't even know. All I can tell you is we're getting hit with that stealth CME. But this is the density. Dark blue is higher density. Same thing here. You see it? I mean, it's crazy. This is magnetic pressure. Everybody understands pressure. This is magnetic pressure. Same thing happened there too. So I don't have an answer for you guys. All I can say is we're getting space weather on that end. Now this is, shout out to my Aussies. This is an Australian magnetopause. It's the same data. It's just very simple. This is our bow shock. This is our satellite line. Okay. So I like showing you guys this one because we're able to see if the space weather gets inside the satellite line. Really easy. Okay. Let's go back a day. So we're on the 25th right there. You can see it bouncing around, which is what we would expect. You get the same data up here too, guys. You get your BZ, proton density, wind speed, okay? And then you got your pressure right here. Okay? Dynamic pressure and standoff distance, which is that distance there. So you can see how that's happening. It did get compressed. What happens is when we get hit, we get compression and then we get rapid expansion because we're trying to fight back. And eventually we win that, right? At least for a period of time. And that's what keeps the stuff off of us. Now, another way to show you that we're getting hit with space weather is to show you the geoelectric field. That's what this is. This is the geoelectric field at the surface. This is their attempt to show us space weather's effect on unnatural electrical components such as wires, transformers, switches, car battery, any of that stuff, right? Something that ain't natural. And again, this is geoelectric, not geomagnetism. But typically, they're one and the same in a lot of different ways. Hey, thanks again, Deep Quake. Another 5 memberships. Heck yeah, baby. Loving it, loving it. Thank you, brother. I can't. You're just awesome. Yeah, you really are. But right here, guys, check it out. This is an uptick in activity. It's not excessive, but it's not no activity either. Okay? See how it comes in at the North Pole also. That's because the geomagnetism comes in up there. So it affects the geoelectric. Geoelectric can affect geomagnetism also. So they kind of affect each other. So when you're looking at one, you're kind of looking at both in a sense. But, you know, so they're using this to bridge a gap between earthquake forecasting and space weather. Because we know it affects the forecasting of earthquakes, seismic activity. Okay, with the geyser and stuff in Yellowstone getting all crazy and blowing everywhere. Those kinds of things. Space weather can definitely have an effect on those things. It does, almost every time. It's well documented now with multiple articles and papers peer-reviewed that when there's a coronal hole facing the Earth, guess what? Earthquake activity goes up. It's documented. Now, the reason for that, there's been a whole lot of different theories and stuff on that, and they're probably they're landing on a few, I'm sure. But there's a lot of ideas out there, and I don't know enough about earthquakes. Deep Quake, he's awesome. He's over on Matthew Shipley's channel a lot, guys. Please go over there. John in the Spirit is too. Go over to Matthew Shipley's and check out his YouTube channel. It's some of the best graphics of space weather. It's a 24-hour live feed. And when things happen, he's got a continuous feed there that shuffles through a bunch of different models and stuff that he's even put together himself, graphic-wise. He's got 8K. He's got fiber optic in his house. He upgraded it about a year ago, I think. It's just awesome to look at, and it makes it very easy to see the space weather. So go check his channel out too, Matthew Shipley. And while I'm saying that too, go check out Tabitha Scove. I can't tell you how much I've learned from watching her channel, guys. Dr. Tabitha Scove, you guys are doing yourself a disservice if you guys don't go there and check it out. It's free college. explained at a level that everybody can understand. It's just awesome stuff, and I'll just leave it at that. Okay, so to kind of give you guys a little bit of a wrap up here, just to give you an idea of what's going on, we had this big flare right there. Came from this eruption right. I'll show you right here. Right about there. I'm going to pause it. We're going to back that up some, okay? And you can see when the radiation storm hits too, guys. And I'll show that to you when I go forward here. Okay, so right here we have no radiation, no hard protons hitting the detector, right? This erupts right here. Look at the time frame. 24 minutes. 12 minutes later. 24 minutes later. About an hour later. Things started hitting the detector. See it? About an hour and 10 minutes it was hitting the detector. This was a backside blast. For that to happen, it's amazing. I'm just saying. That's an amazing feat that we see it. We know that this happens. But when somebody tells me when things blow off the backside of the sun, why do we care? This is why. That and that observation that I was talking about earlier, when we get one blowing off the back, typically we'll get another one blowing off the front. But it's not usually as strong. But sometimes it can be as strong or even sometimes stronger. But typically it is a little bit less strong. And I don't know why. I really don't. It's just an observation that I've made. I don't know if there's any science behind it. But I've shown it to you guys multiple times. But anyway, that was the biggest flare of the sun cycle. You guys understand that? That's a big deal. Okay? Especially, we only get 4 G5 solar storms each sun cycle. That's what's expected. Now, every year it's going to be different. Maybe this year we get 2. Or this sun cycle we get 2. Maybe next sun cycle we get 6. That's how that thing averages out, right? Over a grand period of time. So, as we look at these things and we try to gauge where we're at, we can come down here. We can definitely tell you that the forecast line was this red line here. Now, people have been asking, what's this gray area? That is their plus or minus. What that means is they still consider that a hit, that their forecast was on point because they allow themselves a certain amount of mistake there on both sides. Okay? That's what that is. That's basically saying, hey, this is, I'm going to say that our forecast is actually this red line, but it could land anywhere in this gray area. If you notice, the majority of what we see here is outside of the red line and way outside the gray line too. So we're overachieving. And why I say that, you can compare that to other sun cycles down here. Now this is just the sunspot number itself, guys. Okay, nothing more. This is just the amount of sunspots we have that we're facing the Earth, right? And so if I move this back, which you guys can do too, and you can kind of look at it, right? So that says 200. Now if we go where we're at right now, where are we at? Back here in May, we had the biggest month so far, the 171. We're over 200 for this month, I believe, already. If I remember right, we were actually getting close to like 250. Now, also, if you grab it down here with this arrow, you can make this thing like that. Okay? So, this graph really does put into perspective what we're talking about here. We have already overachieved last sun cycle. We were supposed to be really, really close to what we did last sun cycle. But you can tell how these sun cycles back here were definitely stronger. So are we heading that way? What's the cycles? Well, you can go look at them if you want. And there's cycles within cycles within cycles, so always keep that in mind. And that's really how we get good at forecasting, is understanding cycles and the precursors to that cycle. I'm serious. That, like the old farmers' almanacs, that's why they were so accurate. Because they went off of cycles like that. They went off of historic data. And that's exactly what we need to do with our new technology also. Look at this. This is NOAA's Enlil spiral. And this is 2 days historic data and tries to forecast out 5 days. And it looks like they just updated this not too long ago. But this is the one that missed us, right? We were talking about this yesterday. Let me pause that. But this is updated since then, and there's been a couple more eruptions, guys. Okay? So, on the 27th, we're getting hit. That's 2 days from now. About a day and a half now. Nothing on the 25th, though, right? And that's why it's kind of odd. But we are getting hit with something. I don't know what. It's probably that one that was probably just moving slower than what they thought. But yesterday, these are the only two I was able to show you, and I showed you it was kind of splitting where Earth was, right? And I said, hey, with these glancing blows, those might kind of merge at our planet. If that happens, we could get hit, right? I'm not saying that that's happening right now. What I'm saying is in the future here. But notice all the other CMEs that are popping. This wasn't like this yesterday, okay? These are different CMEs that happened after I talked to you guys. So anyway, you got, hits here, hits there, and hits everywhere. So this is going to become very, very interesting, very, very quick, and it's going to get hard to forecast. So that's just what I'll say. There is your space weather report, guys. Now, I'm going to say thanks to everybody. Thank you, Deepquake. Thank you, Shaper Girl. Who else? Angel's Wings, thank you for the memberships. Guys, anybody that got a membership, a free membership from Deepquake, so tell him thanks if you would. And Angel's Wings, just if you would, just tell him thanks. And we will be doing a members-only stream here. Most likely this, I said this last weekend and couldn't get it done. Guys, my daughter's in color guard, and it's making it really hard. So I guess my question to you guys, especially my members, do you guys want me to do one in the middle of the week? I can do that. I was trying not to do that because I just want everybody to be here. Hey, Christian. Good to see you, bud. Hey, Linda. So if you guys could think about that, okay, and during my next live stream, let me know. Or better yet, come back and leave me a comment. Tell me when you want to have the members only stream. Do you guys want it at a certain time of day? Do you guys want it, what day do you want it on? My goal is to eventually at least do it once a week. Okay, because we just have too much fun talking to each other. But yeah. Hey, Laura, good to see you. Well, thank you, Shaper Girl. I appreciate you. You rock too. That's for sure. Marilyn got her one. Heck yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's always going to be that way for me, guys. I'm sorry. Fan first. Always. No problem, brother. No problem, man. You're the man, dude. I mean, I was trying to think the other day, Leisure, if anybody's been here any longer than you. And I think you and Hilly and a few others have been here since the beginning, man. And thank you. Just thank you for that. Hey, Tiger's Eye. Jeremy Singles, what's up? Nana Deborah. If it had hit us, it would have been grid down. Said it was decided on as the next 13. Thank God it was backside. Yeah, I don't know if it would have been grid down for the whole planet, guys. It's hard for me to land on that. And it's a valid thing. I mean, honestly, obviously Ben is way more educated than I am. But at the same time, I do agree with the fact that a smaller flare did cause a big G5 storm earlier this year. So that's why I even did this tonight, because it does make this one, it makes you wonder. I will say that. Yeah, I guess if Ben said it was an X13, I'm not sure why. Dr. Tony Phillips, it's splitting hairs, X13, X14. But yeah, so anyway, it's the biggest one, guys. I don't know what to say. I really don't. I don't know what would happen. I try not to speculate. I'm not very good at forecasting. And that's why I just nowcast. And people like I said, like Ben, his pay grade way over my head, I can tell you that. And a lot of other people too. Tam with the Scove and everybody, they just, yeah. I looked to all those guys for how I learn. And I consider myself maybe kindergarten teacher. I don't know if that makes any sense. That's a shot at myself, nobody else. But I do try to make things accessible so people can understand the basics. And that's all I'm trying to do here, guys, and give you guys the current conditions. and give you what little knowledge I do have of what's going on. And I hope you guys appreciate. I know you guys appreciate it, and I appreciate all you guys. So, but I strongly encourage you to go watch everybody, and just start picking things out and looking at it for yourself, guys. You can't break nothing by clicking a button. Okay, if you're wondering what something is, just click it. If you don't understand it, ask. You'll never get judged here. If you wanna know the meaning of something, of a word or anything like that, space with a word. That's why I don't try to throw a whole bunch of word salad at you guys. I'm not out here trying to sound smart, because I'm not. I understand. I understand every word out there that people talk about. Yes, I can follow a conversation, and I can even participate using those same words. I choose not to do that because I think that I can reach more people by doing it the way that I do it, and at least the way that I do it. That's how I'm comfortable doing it. I don't want to go out here and start using these big words, because people get, they get the old glassy-eyed and start zoning out on you. And I don't want to do that. So, but anyway, guys. Okay, well, I'm going to pop off. I'm sure Adam and Marfugel's probably already going already, isn't he? Daggone it, I didn't know he was on. Is he going now? He is, isn't he? Daggone it. Okay, guys. Get over there, guys, please. Go over to Marfugel. I tell you what, hang on here for a second, if you would. Let me, I want to do something real quick. Alrighty. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, I'm gonna drop this link in here, guys. Please pop over here and say, "Hey, we're over here from Wages World." I didn't realize he was already live, and I went on way too long. Man, I don't like being live, guys. When he's, let's see here. I don't want to put that in his chat, do I? I guess I need to go to my chat. How about that? Let's do that. I already copied it, so let's go to my chat. Let's put it in my chat. How about that? That is Adam's link right there, guys. Please click it. Please go over there and just say, "Hey, we're here. Sorry we're late." Tell them you love them. All right, guys. It's the best alternative news station, independent on the net, right there. Telling you. All right, guys. God bless. Yahusha saves, and as always, you can drink this Kool-Aid.